Hello everyone, I'm Neetsel and this is Tintin in Tibet. So last year I speedrun the Game Boy version, but this year I'm going for the bad version of Tintin in Tibet. So this is the Super Nintendo version, and I'm going to do this one on the hard difficulty to make things a bit more interesting. The hard difficulty, the main difference is that it had more obstacles on the way, and also the timer for each level is shorter. So let's do a quick countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we start off actually in Tintin and the Blue Lotus. This level is a flashback that shows how Tintin met Chang, who's like the main character that we have to rescue in Tintin in Tibet. Right away, you'll notice that I'm doing a lot of damage boosting. That's really the main strat in this game, knowing when to damage boost. Right, here I'm taking things a little bit slow because this is a marathon, and this game is not really safe for marathon, especially in the final stages, because due to RNG, the game can just decide to kill me. So this is the first auto-scroller. What's a bit tricky about this is that these whirlwind of water that appear out of nowhere, you just have to memorize them, and that's like the first main issue when you're playing this game casually, is that most of the time you can't react to things, you have to memorize everything. And while this game looks great, it's really hard and terrible to play due to its difficulty and also the physics of Tintin. Alright, so we're about to rescue Chang, so that's a good thing done. Now we're actually entering the story of Tintin in Tibet. Tintin is on holiday, everything is trying to murder him. As you can notice on the top left, that's my health, and the game doesn't give you all your health back in between levels. It only makes sure that you have at least 2 health points, but not more than that. We damage boost through this cleaning lady, and these little dogs are the worst enemy in the game because the collision is really bad. So the game is really bad at explaining that, but there are actually objectives in the level. Here we have 3 objectives. The first one is to look at that TV for a news report. And so most of the time when playing this casually, you would go to the right side of the level and just have no idea what you're supposed to do. Alright, so we're almost near the second objective, which is the reception. We learned that the letter has arrived for us, but Captain Haddock took it. Ooh, that was close. These dogs are really the worst. I'm really always concerned with them. I hate them so much. Alright, so we get our letter. It says that Tintin was in a plane that was going towards Tibet and the plane crashed. Apparently everyone dies, but during a dream, Tintin sees that Chang is alive, so he decides to go rescue him. Here we stop a little bit because this spot is falling from out of nowhere. If you run, you just get hit. Again, it's really hard to react to those things. We damage boost through this bike. Another pot falling. These bells can hurt me as well. And this kid tells us, follow me, but actually you're not supposed to follow him. You're supposed to pick up his hat, which is not automatic, and then go all the way to the right side of the screen. Alright, I'm always a bit concerned with this part because on the hard difficulty, these things can actually desync, and you can just get stuck and be forced to take damage. Alright, since this is a marathon run, I'm going to pick up this life, which is going to give me all my health back. Going to wait for that bike to pass by, and then we're just going to run. And as you can notice, these spots I can run under them, but not the other ones before, so it's super confusing. This game is really inconsistent in the way it behaves. This level, it's really hard to read. It looks great, but yeah, being able to see what's coming at you, it's really difficult. And there's actually a bit of a puzzle here. We're supposed to pick up these crates, and we're going to use them a bit later. Alright, so far so good. So what we're going to do is that we are going to build a bridge for this little girl so that she can get home. Okay, and now this is the tricky part of the level, but we should be good because I have plenty of health. Okay, that's always super close. And we damage boost through this thing. And that's the end of the level. And we get our first password of the game. That's really one of the main issues with this game, is that the Game Boy version gave you password every 2 levels, which is fair enough, that's often enough. This version doesn't care about you at all, so it's super frustrating. We pick up this life to regain all our health, and we're going to be really careful because these yak remove 2 health points. We're going to damage boost through them because we're supposed to use grass to force them to move, but it's actually way faster to do it this way. Okay. Okay, we're through, that's good. Okay, most of the time I try to take damage while jumping so that I don't have that hit animation that you see Tintin doing. But I messed up a little bit there. So yeah, this game looks really good. It was made by Infograms, and Infograms is well known for adapting Belgian and French comic book into games. And most of the time, all their games look really good, but they are really painful to play. You'll probably not notice it here, but Tintin's physics is a bit weird because he slides a lot, and so there's actually a dedicated run button, and also your jumps are modified based on whether you're running or not. But it's really hard not to slide when you're running. Okay, I got hit there, but that's alright. Got plenty of health. There's also a Genesis version of this game, and the Genesis version is the one I grew up with, and it's a lot worse. Because, for instance, when you pick up a life, it doesn't give you any health back, and the physics as well is a little bit different. It's its own kind of bad. Alright, this is one of the really infamous levels. These orange statues have to go on the left side because going on the right side it brings bad luck and you'll die instantly. This in the comic was a single panel, but they managed to do a whole level out of it. These rocks, it's a bit confusing how to avoid them because Tintin slows down when he's jumping. Whoa, and since he slows down, you have to actually jump quite late. Okay. Also, if you jump, you can actually hit elements that are on the side. This final tree is glitched. If you slide under it, it's random whether you manage to get through it or not. Yeah, Lookie Look is really good. I think it's part of their good games. Right, this level, what's difficult about this one casually is that it's really hard to tell what is background and foreground, what is a platform and what is not, and we have to use these snowballs to create platforms. Again, more stuff that you have to memorize to avoid. Okay. We're going to damage boost right here so that we can do this whole section really quickly. Okay, messed up that landing a little bit, but that's alright. Yeah, the Tintin movie got a game by Ubisoft. I didn't play it. I know it's one of these situations where they release games for every platform, so I imagine the DS version might not be really good, but yeah, I think it was decent. It was a bit boring, but I think that version is alright. Oh no, what am I doing? Yeah, it's alright. I messed up. I wanted to keep my health for the next level, but yeah, forgot about it. So far the run is going pretty well, so I was going for the faster strat. Yeah, that movie, that Tintin movie, I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun time. Was a lot better than the previous animated movie that we got. In the 90s, we got a lot of stuff Tintin related. It was part of theme parks. We got a new cartoon. There's even a musical of Tintin. Alright, so we pick up the pickaxe. Right here, it's a bit random whether I'm going to get hit once or twice, but the pattern was nice to me. We pick up a rope as well. The pickaxe, we are going to use it on the slope so that we can climb. Okay. The rope, we have to really land on Tintin's waist, otherwise it doesn't activate. And that's one of the big problems with this game, is that the collisions for everything are really precise. It's like these ropes, I can't land, I have to land on really precise spot. And we're through with this level. Right, so this level is a maze. One of the worst in my opinion, casually, because, well, these foregrounds, it's hard to tell if they are actual foregrounds or that they are just, or if they can block you. Like that one on the right, it blocks me. And so this level is a maze. And as always, it's really hard to know what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go. This game is alright once you know how to finish it, but yeah, casually it's yeah, probably the most infamous game from Infograms. In my opinion, it's not their worst, but yeah, a lot of people got really frustrated with this one. Okay, this is bad. I'm getting it quite a lot by those. Okay, these falling rocks, you have to actually stop before seeing them, because the timer for when they fall actually starts before you see them. It's really bad. It's like placement as well to pick up things is really precise. It's a pain. This is the worst jump in the game, because activating the pickaxe is really tricky. Yeah, it's definitely the best known bad game. Plus, we have the French version of the AVGN, who got like, it's probably one of its most popular video. Alright, this level as a kid, I was so excited to reach it, because it was on the back of the box of the game, and it looked awesome. It looked like something that I'd never played before, so I really wanted to reach this level. Turns out it's a really difficult level because, again, it's a maze. On the top right, you can see a timer, and that timer, well, is your biggest enemy when playing the game casually. It keeps running during dialogue, so if you try to just read what the characters are saying to you, even at the end of a stage, well, you might just time out. So the snow here is supposed to make me fall, but collisions are really bad, so sometimes the snow doesn't have any collision. And sometimes some section that doesn't have snow have collision. So alright, so casually you would go all the way to the right here, to the bottom right, but it turns out that this section got no collision, so you can just get through it. If I move too far away from the other character, both characters will fall, so you have to be really careful with that. And this level is pretty long. During practice, I messed up this level a bit. So this is the intended route by the game. This is the precise position that you're supposed to have. And it's really not intuitive. So one of the reasons oh no, I have no idea what happened there. I don't even know why they fell. Okay, that's pretty bad since it's one of the longest level, but it's alright. That will give me a little bit more time to talk about the development of the game. Because turns out originally, well, the company that owns Tintin, it's not an easy company to work with, because they are really protective of Tintin, and they didn't want to make a game, a video game back in the 90s, because that was the point, in the mid-90s, that was the point where, you know, video games got a bad reputation due to violence. So they were fine with making a game on the condition that Tintin would do no combat at all in the game. And so this is one of the few books that doesn't actually have an actual villain in it. And also there's been like a few exposition about Tibet in the 90s, so they thought, all right, we're going to go with this book since Tibet is pretty popular at the for the time being. Doesn't look like it, but as you've seen before, you can easily die on this level, and sometimes you don't understand why. I think I fell because I was trying to put the pickaxe back into the wall, and because the rope was tense, during the animation the rope gets a bit more tense, and I think that's the reason why I fell. It's one of these levels, it's so slow that for some reason I get nervous about it. Okay. We're almost through. Going to play it super safe, just to make sure that we don't have to redo all of this. Fun fact about this level, the Genesis version forces you to use Tintin to pick up the scarf. In the Super Nintendo version, it doesn't care. Alright, this is the worst level when you are doing speedruns, and one of the worst playing casually because it has a win mechanic that is a bit randomized in places. there are sections where you'll have the wind in a specific direction, but then there are other places like right here where you have to wait for the wind to help you get across. Big problem is that there's a timer, and you can actually time out just because the wind never gets in the right direction. So this is one of the reasons I pick up so many life in marathon runs, because it happened several times that we timed out on this level. Come on, please, be nice. Okay. This level has a nice mechanic. There's actually 2 sections to it. I could have continued the level outside, but yeah, doing it through the cave is a lot faster. Okay. This jump is terrible. We're going to damage boost through this one. And the next one, the way it triggers is not the same, so we can just jump through it. Okay, final section where the wind can actually decide to kill me, because it can change direction in the middle of a jump. And it's always a bit tricky. Come on, be nice. And as you can see on the top right, I'm almost out of time, so... Alright! This is the Monastery. It mostly focuses on puzzles, just like the Game Boy version. First puzzle is a Simon. I'm going to focus because I'm really bad at this puzzle. Alright. Okay, first one is good. Okay, we're good, we're through. I usually mess up these so much, especially when I'm alone doing commentary. It's like I get distracted and it's really hard. Alright, so in the Game Boy version, the monks are nicer to you, they can't deal damage, but in this version, they can actually murder you, so... So next, we're going to have to memorize 4 symbols. These 4 symbols. I only memorized 2 of them, and usually that's enough. And then it's going to be the worst part of the run. We're going to clean up a library, and what's really not interesting about that part is that it's always the same pattern in the Super Nintendo version. The Game Boy version at least tried to change things quite often. It was fully randomized, but in this version, well, it's always the same. So it's definitely not as interesting doing it over and over again. Really overall, I still think that Infograms really did a great job with the game. Main issue is that quite late into the development they decided to increase the difficulty of the game. So the normal difficulty became the easy difficulty and so on, and they added hard on top of that. But yeah, I really like the variety of this game. It's got a puzzle, exploration and all that. It's really nice. Okay, we're almost through with this section. So, solving this puzzle open a door all across the level. There's nothing confirming that you finished the puzzle. Yeah. Again, this game doesn't explain a lot of things to you. Okay, damage boost through these monks. Now I have to memorize the symbols that I saw earlier. That should be fine. This is, I mean, if I didn't fail the climbing section, this is the longest level in the game. I mean, in the run. And again, the timer is always an issue. So if you mess up, you have to restart all the way from the start. I have to find the third bell. Okay. I think it's this one. No. That one? No, I messed that up. So right, we're going to do it again. B. Okay. That's this. No. Messed up again. It's really super confusing because it doesn't replay the... Which one was that? No. Oh no, what am I doing? That never happens. Come on. Is this the one? Yeah, here we go. Ah, oh, thank God. So final level, the Yeti's Cave. The Yeti, if it hugs me, I just die instantly, so we need to avoid it at all costs. Right there, I'm going to despawn him by jumping quickly to the left. Right there, I need to slow down a little bit to avoid this rock. Then we jump right now before this rock appears. Here we are going to hide behind this rock. This is a really cool mechanic that is never used anywhere else in the game. Alright, and this is the part where I can die due to RNG. So fingers crossed, we have 4 lives, so we should be good. Right there, it's random whether it catches me or not. That was close, but we made it through. And that's time will be once it fades, so that's time. And here we go. So we rescued Chang. The final cutscene is mostly him explaining how he survived. So his plane crashed. The Yeti actually rescued him, and then he tried to leave some info just so that people could find him again. So nowadays, so Infograms made this. They made games like Marsupilami, Lookie Look, Spirou, all that kind of stuff. Nowadays, we kind of have a new Infograms with Microids, who did, for instance, the Marsupilami game you saw earlier. And it turns out that they are making a new Tintin game as well. We have no footage of it, but hopefully it will be good. So again, thank you for the staff for accepting the run. It was really nice to be able to show this, especially since the one went really well. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the marathon. Thanks again.